May I now invite Excellency Aung San, Honorable Minister, Planning and Economy, Mandalay region of Myanmar, to please address us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mingalawa. It is a very impressive presentation, and I would like to express my appreciation to it. We have our Chief Minister of Sakai region, the border region, with Northeast India and the next to region is Mandalay region. I hope that summit will produce wonderful and successful results for both countries. Thank you, sir.
May I now invite Excellency Mr. Leonpo Tandin Wangchuk, Health Minister, Royal Government of Bhutan, to please address us.
Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Kuzuzangpola. It is indeed a great honor for my delegation to be in this beautiful city of Delhi to participate in the 10th Northeast Business Summit. To your Excellencies gathered here today, and the people of India, I bring warm greetings from His Majesty the King, Jigme Kisar Namgyal Wangchuk, and from the government and people of Bhutan. To begin with, allow me to express my deep appreciation to the government of India and the ICC for the warm reception and hospitality. Bhutan became a member of BIMSTEC in 2003 to contribute and benefit from the regional cooperation and to stimulate trade investment. Given the potential impact on our peoples, Bhutan attaches high importance to the purposes and the principles of BIMSTEC. The association provides a unique platform for two geographically contiguous sub-regions of SAARC and ASEAN to engage in mutually beneficial cooperation. It, therefore, has the potential to bring together the economic strength of two sub-regions to elevate poverty and foster growth of the region as a whole. Since the inception of BIMSTEC, we have taken numerous initiatives to realize the following objectives and principles of our association as encapsulated in the Bangkok Declaration. However, I am sure you all will agree that at some point of time, all of us have encountered disenchantment at the slow pace of our integration processes, and in some quarters, apprehension that we may be heading nowhere. Nevertheless, the last summit held in Myanmar in 2014 has reinforced our commitment to work for larger socio-economic benefits of the region. With 1.5 billion people, abundant natural resources, and growing economics, a well thought out and effectively implemented cooperation under BIMSTEC has the potential of occupying a significant spot on the global stage. Northeast region of India, being strategically located, it poses immense economic potential to benefit not only India, but also region as a whole. This annual flagship event, the Northeast Business Summit, is very timely, one, to keep the momentum of BIMSTEC going and, more importantly, to engage the private sectors from all sub-regions. Considering the fact that most of the countries in the region are agrarian, with more than two-thirds of our poor living in rural areas and depending directly or indirectly on agriculture for livelihood, the event provides very good opportunity for the investors and entrepreneurs across the region to interact, exchange knowledge, and strike a deal to improve the productivity and living standards of millions in the region. Such platform could also discuss on the threats posed to the economic and social progress of the region by transnational diseases. Although size of Bhutan's economy is insignificant, but it has been growing steadily over the years. I believe that Bhutan's outward and liberal trade policy may have contributed to this growth. We are signatory to 2 bilateral trade agreements with India and Bangladesh and 2 regional economic cooperation, SAFTA and the BIMSTEC. Currently, Bhutan is negotiating bilateral arrangements with Thailand and Nepal. As Bhutan deepens its integration into the region and global economy, we see business forums like this as an important platform to harness benefits of regional and bilateral cooperation and translate it to business for mutual benefits. Besides economic reasons, I believe that such events would go a long way in understanding and appreciating the cultural diversity, religion, and many more. On this note, I, on behalf of Royal Government and people of Bhutan, would like to express my sincere gratitude to the government and people of India for your kind invitation and warm hospitality. I would also like to thank and congratulate the organizers for putting up such an event for the benefit of the region. I am hopeful that the summit will continue to stimulate regional trade, foster growth, and ultimately help uplift living conditions of millions of poor people in this region. Thank you, and Tashidilek.
Thank you, Mr. Roy, President of ICC, for inviting our embassy to be a part of this very important event. Distinguished panelists, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. In the interest of time, I would like to briefly share with you the thoughts or views of the Japanese government on the assistance in the development of Northeast and the regional connectivity today. Our commitment is very clear in providing assistance in this regard. Our 2 leaders, Prime Minister Abe and Prime Minister Modi, discussed this issue, of course, when Prime Minister Modi visited Japan last year. When Foreign Minister Kishida visited Delhi, January this year, after his reappointment in the cabinet as foreign minister, he chose this country as the first country to visit, to show our commitment to work together with India on many various important issues. And of course, our assistance to Northeast and regional connectivity is a focus of our discussion all the time. When we talk about regional connectivity, we see different dimensions. First, connectivity between Northeast and other parts of India, especially between Northeast and economic corridors in India, as well as connectivity between Northeast and ASEAN countries. Secondly, we talk about connectivity. There's a connectivity within SAARC region. Thirdly, there's a connectivity between SAARC region and ASEAN countries. Japan would like to be an active player in all of these initiatives. When we try to provide assistance in this regard, we have to take into account 4 things. We always bear these in our minds when we try to think about how we can proceed with our assistance in Northeastern region and region connectivity. First, when we try to involve Northeast, we have to start with the importance of enhancing the quality of life and well-being of the local people of Northeastern region. We cannot talk about regional connectivity without paying full attention to this important issue. Secondly, we have to bring in business, especially manufacturing, to make this endeavor of ours sustainable. But we also have to do this in an eco-friendly way. That's very, very important when we think about the biodiversity and rich natural resources, environment in Northeast. Thirdly, in order for us to be able to bring in business, we have to provide infrastructure, both physically and institutionally. Actually, Japanese government, together with JICA and other governmental agencies, has done already a lot in this regard. In the past, we have done a lot of projects in this area. Water supply, sewerage, forest management, power generation, transmission, biodiversity conservation, human capacity development, and so on. And from now on, of course, we will continue our efforts in this regard. Currently, JICA is conducting a survey on some roads for their improvement, including national highways leading to Bangladesh and leading to Myanmar. We are fast-tracking our survey right now, so part of this survey will be completed within this year. And we are also thinking of extending our assistance in the construction of energy network in SAARC region. But we also have to overcome difficulties in proceeding with assistance. There are difficult issues that we have to overcome, like geography, difficult geography, institutional capacity, security issues, and limited financial resources, and so on. We have to work together with central governments and local governments of relevant countries to overcome these hurdles and go ahead together. We like to also use Japanese technology in providing assistance and to realize a commitment for improvement infrastructure and enhancement of the people's lives in this region. We are ready to render any support we can using Japan's cutting-edge technologies in this regard. Finally, when we talk about regional connectivity, I mentioned earlier 3 dimensions of regional connectivity, but our thought goes beyond that, actually. We have different kinds of regional connectivity initiatives, of course. ASEAN regional connectivity, and also we are talking about the so-called Big B, Bay of Bengal Industrial Growth Belt, for which Japanese government has already committed 600 billion Japanese yen for 4 to 5 years, beginning 2014. And as I mentioned earlier, when Foreign Minister Kishida visited Delhi earlier this year, we also talked about some new, not really new, some big concept. That's the concept of the era of Indo-Pacific. Earlier, Mr. Nag talked about the ambitious project of linking Indian Ocean to South China Sea. But actually, our idea goes beyond that, linking Indian Ocean with Pacific. So the era of Indo-Pacific. But actually, this idea is not new either. When Prime Minister Abe visited India 2007, he already proposed at that time the confluence of two seas, Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. In this regard, Japanese government is also making a concrete steps to work together with the local government of India, such as Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh has a very long coast facing eastward. And it has strategic importance and strategically located in that regard, facing ASEAN. We have accumulation of Japanese companies in southern part of India, like Tamil Nadu, Chennai, but it's expanding and expanding to the north, of course. We cannot go to the south, it's a sea. So we see now another concrete connectivity initiative in this regard. We would like to be a part of this, all of these initiatives, and our commitment will continue to work together with India and other countries for regional connectivity. Thank you very much.
May I now invite Excellency Mr. Alhaz Amir Hossain Amu, Honorable Minister of Industries, Government of Bangladesh, to please address us.
Excellency, Chair, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here this afternoon in preparation for the next day's deliberation. I'm also very happy to see that the 10th edition of the Northeast Business Summit is taking the BIMSTEC and ASEAN as focus areas. Finally coming to recognize the criticality of the land bridge which connects these two regions and the northeast of India with the vast seas to the south and through the seas to the littoral states surrounding first the Indian and then the Pacific Ocean runs. Ladies and gentlemen, I represent Bangladesh for those of you who would still fail to understand how my country relates to the Northeast, or for that matter to these two regions under BIMSTEC and ASEAN. I would like to point out pretty much bluntly that the much talked about look east or even the act east policy of India has no other option but to look through Bangladesh for diversing the most optimum configurations of trade and commerce. As a minister, I am always interested to know how my country is performing in terms of export. But more important than that, I need to know how deeply I am connected to an optimist business configuration. For me, for us, the most optimism in the most natural of all, which is basically a reversion to the way the ancient Indian subcontinent functioned and operated for more than 5,000 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the borders we have drawn during the end of the British colonial rule never served the economic purpose of peoples of the region. While countries and nations may and can always have differences in ideas and identities, I believe those differences should not be preclude them from interacting in win-win solutions at the economic pragmatism. Ladies and gentlemen, we will discuss about specific issues over the course of next couple of sessions. But trust me when I say that this is time that we change the rules of the game. We have to recognize the potential that our countries and the regions concerned have, especially in terms of our productive human resources, capabilities, skills, and even markets. We have between us almost 1/3 of the entire human race. We have the two fastest growing economic superpower of the globe, both within and just next to us. We have maritime resources which none of our countries have sufficiently tapped or even probably thought about. Sadly, what binds us all are rules and protocols which have far outlived their reasonable lifespans. My exports cannot reach markets in India in spite of zero traffic entry for almost all categories of goods because of non- and para-traffic barriers like delays and harmonization of standards and non-availability of integrated cleaning points, or for that matter, unavailability of adequate communication infrastructure to reach and connect growth centers which once defined the land's masses even till the partition of 1947. Especially with the Northeast, Bangladesh's interests are in building integrated power and energy corridors, complete with generation and distribution of affordable and sustainable energy, transit and transshipment, inland waterways, rail and road corridors, and developing the Chittagong port as an entry port of all multimodal transit built and used for regional urges. We must understand now that we can move forward only when we move together. Take, for example, the inland waterways. India has enjoyed full access to our rivers for all these decades. But tell me, has anything been done to actually take advantage of this transit ever? We have let our rivers dry when they had and still have the capability to connect the entire North India with the Northeast and various points, including Chittagong and Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I would not like to take much more time at this hour. Rather, I would like to invite you to this wonderful journey ahead when we can chart out a comprehensive roadmap together for connecting the regions in a way which sustains the legitimate development discourse of all our peoples. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in the face of grave peril that rooted out the scourge of terrorism from our part of the world, I am sure that this Northeast India now understands the benefits of our daring and bold actions. I believe now it is time that we move forward with even bolder vision for our peoples. Thank you all. Jai Bangla, Jai Bangabandhu.
May I now invite His Excellency U Thai, Chief Minister of Zakai region of Myanmar, to please address us.
Honorable ladies and gentlemen, Nabasni Menglawa. First of all, I would like to thank for having a chance to discuss a 10 Northeast Business Summits held in New Delhi. I hope such kind of the summits were enhanced with and means for the balanced benefit that can happen to economic stars, investments, financial flows, the flows of the skilled workers and balanced trade based on the technology in order to carry out ASEAN economic community. So, I am very glad to hear that India PM policy look its policy to the ethics policy. India has been cooperating in each sector, especially science and technology and research training program for the ASEAN countries, sharing peace and development for the ASEAN-India partnership. Likewise, Myanmar is situated in strategic route between the India and ASEAN country, East Asia. Also, Sagaing region is a gateway of the Northeast India. So, India, those investments in Sagaing region can be exported to the ASEAN countries and East Asia. So, I invite investments invite to our region area. Also, India can be used land trade through Myanmar to uplift the future trade sector with ASEAN countries. The MOU was able to design upgrade Tamukale-Yaji Road in the Sagaing region. 2016-17, we were finished. For the first line from the Imphal Mandalay to the MOU was signed. Also, protocol draft was framed by the skill level from the both sides. Last, I invite, please come to the Myanmar and scenes and invite our country. Thank you.